All right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussion, continuing our WCW pay-per-view review series. This is going to be the inaugural WCW World War III, 1995. You know, Mike?
I'm Frank. Man, let's get into this. We got a lot to cover because with doing the Monday night reviews, we are. This is actually lining up perfectly with the Monday Nitro.
Mhm.
We've been talking about it for the last couple of reviews, how this was building up to where the 60-man battle royal. Normally, they didn't mention it in this one. They will in the next one. This one is for the vacated WCW championship. Going forward, this will
Right.
be a shot at the WCW
Mhm.
champion should you win it. So, but this one, because of everything that transpired at Halloween
This is,
Havoc with Jimmy Hart, Hogan, and the Giant, the title was vacant. So, 60 men have an opportunity of gaining the
yeah.
belt back.
This
Uh,
is,
Go ahead.
it's their version of Royal Rumble 1992 when Hogan
Yes.
fought Undertaker. Hogan got the
And he
belt.
acted like Royal Rumble
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
1992.
yeah, yeah. And they get stripped him, and then 92 Rumble was for the title, and as we know, Flair
But
won.
in this case, he had a valid point,
He did, but
but
he still,
still,
we'll get into it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, he's still complaining.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So their moniker was 60 men, three rings, three giants, one battle
Yeah.
royal. Their giants consisting of the Giant, the Yeti, and of course Hulk Hogan,
Yeah. Well,
which
because
isn't a giant.
I've mentioned this before for those that don't know, it was supposed to be Elegante, it was supposed to be the other giant, but
Yeah,
he had a health problem, so that wasn't going to happen. I love how the Yeti is now a ninja.
yeah.
I
And
figured.
he was one of the first ones out, by the way.
See,
So
yeah, I was fired up for this, man. Going into this pay-per-view, I remember being really, really excited. I went to my friend Peter's house. He had the hot box. For those that don't know, that's an illegal cable box. They used to call it a hot box back in the days. And so
damn, we weren't paying for that shit.
yeah. So I went to his house, and I remember all of us gathered around the TV, man. I was pulling for Hogan. I was still Hulkamania back then, you know. So I was still pulling for the guy, you know.
Yeah, I mean, why not? But and on this night, would he be victorious? Well, only time will tell. We'll get into it. Uh, they were in the scope in Norfolk, Virginia, roughly 12,000 on hand for this one. Of course, Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan doing the commentary. Before the night kicked off, Mean Gene Okerlund interviewed Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Sting. Hogan, that's it. No more Dark Side. He ripped it off. He's back to the red and yellow.
Right?
Thank
Yeah. He cut
God.
that point. He's like, "Thanks, brothers," and he's kissing Sting's ass and kissing Macho Man's ass.
Yep, because
You know,
Sting and Hogan had their battle. Everything is copacetic now.
I wouldn't trust
Um,
Hogan, man. I wouldn't trust Hogan.
I wouldn't trust him as far as you could throw him,
No,
especially not with not without the mustache. He
no.
just looks evil.
Well, it's funny. They asked Bischoff. I listened to the podcast. I forget. Yeah, I guess it must have been. Which podcast was it? I guess it was 83 Weeks. They asked him about oh, did you guys do this because of the Royal Rumble? And he said no, but they didn't add this pay-per-view because of the Royal Rumble. It's like we just needed another pay-per-view to make money. But I'm like, how could you not take inspiration from the Royal Rumble when you basically did the same exact gimmick? I mean, you turned the volume up with three rings, but you're doing it
Yeah,
for the title, and then going forward, it's a title shot. You're telling me you didn't get that from the Royal Rumble? And I like Bischoff, but come on.
I think he did take that
Yeah, of course he did.
as well as Vince took a lot of things from Eric
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
won't admit to.
Yeah. Of course.
But I did like the fact that the three rings, the 60 men. Of course, there were times where I'm sure they didn't have 60 guys on that roster that
Yeah.
they had to go digging around looking for
Well, they had
whatever.
fillers. They did have fillers.
And once I go through the list, you'll see,
Yeah.
you'll know who the
Mhm.
fillers are. So, and then of course they showed a video showing Kimberly putting herself up in the opening match. She would go with the winner. Opening contest of the night for the television
Yeah.
championship, and the winner gets Kimberly. Johnny B. Bad defending the championship against Diamond Dallas Page. She was definitely anti-Page in this point. He wanted a grade from her. She wouldn't give it to him. She gave it to Page.
Mhm.
Page, yeah, right.
So,
She gave it to Johnny B. Bad
yeah.
on one point. She gave actually Johnny B. Bad a 10 plus when Page was looking for it earlier in the match. It was funny. Page went for a tombstone pile driver, but Bad reversed it, but he didn't get the pin on that. Um, Bad from the apron, and this was actually a pretty good move. A springboard leg drop on Page. That's how we got the pin and the victory. So now Kimberly is technically with Johnny B. Bad. However, of course, after Kimberly hugged Johnny B. Bad, and Bad gave her a grade of 10 plus. when Mean Gene interviewed Johnny B. Bad and Kimberly, he gave her the option of thinking about it, and if you wanted to be in my corner, it's your call. Follow your dreams and all that yada yada yada.
Yeah, that was nice.
So she's like, "Oh, I appreciate you giving me the choice and all this stuff." So Johnny Diamond Dallas Page, you lost your girl, man. Sorry.
Well, for now. Well, for now.
For now. So next match on the card is a taped fist match, and you win this match by pinfall or knockout. Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Big Bubba Rogers. And I'm thinking as the whole time as we're reviewing the Raw and Nitro reviews over this time, when was this ever? I mean, maybe, probably, possibly on Saturday, TBS Saturday night that they did this, but I never saw not one storyline even remotely going to this match on Nitro.
This is the filler match.
This is the tag team partners from the Survivor Series 1990 here going at it. The match itself, I'm going to say it was a little lackluster. That it was kind of missing something. Of course, these guys are both, I think, at this point, are missing a step. Duggan more than Bubba. It was while Bubba was coming to the ring. The Hacksaw Jim Duggan ran him down and attacked him. He got the early jump on him. Of course, he's got the 2x4, strapped to his, to a piece of rope as he's carrying it there. I did like the fact that Bubba got a little creative. He taped Hacksaw Jim Duggan's arm to the rope while he was beating him down. Duggan, he at the point he did hit his 3-point stance on him, but this is a feud that actually was documented and actually, we've commented, we've talked about and broke it down on pay-per-views when Michael Wall Street showed up. And he came out with a chain, and when Duggan hit him, the chain kind of fell, and Boss Man got a hold of it, and he knocked Hacksaw Jim Duggan out, and Big Bubba Rogers wins by KO in this not-so-good match. So, following that, Mean Gene Okerlund interviewed the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who is not only looking for Sting in this match, and he's got a match with him anyway before the World War III, but he's talking about how he's going to walk out World Heavyweight Champion. So it's funny how some of these guys had to work double duty, but what did make sense to me is Sting and Ric Flair was the match before World War III. Yeah. And these are the two guys that are odds-on favorite to win it. Why are they fighting so close to the card? I mean, hell, they left the ring, and then 2 seconds later, here they come walking back.
They should have had him. There. They should have had him open the show,
or at least be the second or third match. Yeah. But I wouldn't have done it that close to it. Because if God help, if something, an injury, and we know this about Sting. I mean, come on.
I'm just saying for storytelling purposes, it would have made more sense if they would have been a very early match. That way, they had time to rest.
Yeah, because they fought a 14.5-minute match, and then you're going into a match that lasted almost 30 minutes. So, following the Big Bubba match, Mike Tenay joined the commentary for the next match. It was Mayumi Ozaki and Cutie Suzuki versus Bull Nakano and Akira Hokotu. This is all transpiring from the whole Bobby Heenan, Sonny Ono negotiations that are going on Nitro. That they're bringing over the Japanese wrestlers. They could have kept these four, by the way.
Bull Nakano would have watched out. Son. Alundra Blaze is on the way back.
In less than a month, a few weeks from now, we're going to be seeing her with that famous Medusa. The trash. Medusa's back. This match was okay. Nobody was really into this, mainly because they didn't know what they were looking at. Yeah, I mean, the only person recognizable in this match is Bull Nakano.
Right, yeah, for us, because we watched WWF, we saw her. But
yeah, she fought Alundra Blaze for the Women's Championship. The match to me was okay. Mike Tenay, of course, very knowledgeable of everybody that wrestles out of the U.S. Nakano with a top rope leg drop on Ozaki and gets the pin, and that's how it's done. And it's over with. Nakano and Hokotu get the victory over the other two. So, following that match now, Mean Gene Okerlund interviewed Lex Luger and Jimmy Hart about not only his match with Macho Man Randy Savage, but of course also the Battle Royal later on in the night. Next match on the card was for the United States Championship, and after I mentioned the match, I'm going to tell you who I think should have been in this because we talked about this in the last Nitro review. It was Kensuke Sasaki versus defending the title against Chris Benoit. I understand Sting's feuding with the Horseman at this point, but why isn't he? Why isn't this a return bout for the title? Because he lost the title in Japan.
In Japan, yeah.
Now let the U.S. fans see the rematch.
Things got to stop going over there, man.
Yeah, he loses titles every time he goes over there.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I just, I don't know.
We want the bookers.
Yeah.
But I mean, this match, it didn't disappoint, but it didn't overwhelm people either because it was a very slow going match that you can actually probably hear them snoring because it was a lot of old school type wrestling of the takedowns and the wear downs and all that.
I thought it was a good match, you know. But
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, but you know.
And of course, Sonny Ono joined the commentary team at this point. Of course, Shivani's like, doesn't Heenan owe you money? He goes, oh no, Sonny Ono's a man of honor. He doesn't care about money. And I'm thinking, oh dude, don't say that about him. Sonny Ono's nothing but about money.
He's a businessman.
Oh, Bobby Heenan is a very, very respected man. Okay, well, you're one to talk. I love Sonny Ono. There's just something about him. I love the character that he possessed with the asinine smiles and everything he did, especially when he started coming out with the cameras and stuff. It was good stuff that they did with him. The match went about 10 minutes. Unfortunately, Benoit came out the short end of the stick on this one. Sasaki with a Northern Lights bomb on Benoit and got the pin. So Sasaki retains the United States Championship. But he's not the number one contender for the championship. Okay. So following that match, once again, it wouldn't be a Nitro or a pay-per-view without Mean Gene interviewing the Giant, Kevin Sullivan, and Jimmy Hart. This is becoming a weekly thing. They might as well just have their own talk show. So, I'm talking about how, despite the fact that Sullivan's in this and could very well walk out the champion, he's still putting all the focus on the Giant winning the title because Mean Gene did mention, well, there's other members of the Dungeon of Doom in there. What if one of them walk out with the title?
Where's the Master in all of this? Where is he?
With Loch Ness or the rest of them? Yeah. For the Fruit Loops? I don't know.
Well, Loch Ness, yeah. I mean, Loch Ness he shows up. He's coming in a few months, yeah.
I'd want to keep him.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Seriously, keep him. Of course, they showed a video package of Savage and Lex Luger, how this all has gone on since the beginning of the very first night of Monday Nitro, all the way to now. I've actually looked at the archives, and I think these guys have fought more times than Sting and Flair. It just keeps on over the years. It keeps on happening. Just with these two, and we get this all in WCW, but I would have just liked that one time.
I know
in WWE on a pay-per-view would have been awesome. So, but anyway, next match on the card is the Macho Man Randy Savage versus Lex Luger. Again, these two guys did not disappoint in this match. They never do. They give you awesome matches whenever they're in there. Savage hit the elbow drop on Luger, but naturally Jimmy Hart had the referee distracted. Go figure. He tried to throw Luger into Jimmy Hart. Jimmy, once again, later on also had the referee distracted. Luger had Savage in the torture rack on the outside of the ring. This was smart on Luger's part because wearing him down to where he cannot tap out, to roll him in, and this is what's funny to me, and I've never seen this before. The two of them are on the outside risking getting counted out. Lex Luger rolls into the ring. The count is still supposed to keep going, but the referee restarted the count. That's only supposed to happen if Luger decides he goes back outside of the ring.
Yeah.
But they restarted the count. That technically Savage should have been counted out here.
Right.
But this is WCW.
Yeah.
We make up the rules.
They don't apply.
So Luger then, brings him back in the ring. Savage is pretty much out at this point. Puts him in a little cheesy armbar and gets the submission because Savage is pretty much unconscious. After the match, Luger would not let go of the hold, similar to what we saw with Sting and Flair on Nitro.
Mm-hmm.
Sting comes out and talks Luger down from it, and Luger breaks the hold. Man, we really need to know what's going on.
What's going with this?
This is weird. Luger's a heel, but he's teaming up with Sting.
That's interesting. Weird. It's interesting, though. It's different.
And he's not turning on Sting.
Right.
So, and of course, following that, they showed a video package for Sting versus Flair. Excuse me. Next match on the card. Again, I didn't understand why this was so close to World War III, but it is what it is. And what's made this match even more weird was the fact that Colonel Rob Parker and Sherry came down watching the match. I didn't understand that one bit. They have no business with either competitor.
I have no idea.
Flair tried using a chair during this match, as Flair will do, but the referee took it away. At one point, Sting did apply the Scorpion Deathlock on Ric Flair. I'm sorry, he did apply the Scorpion Deathlock, on him and won it by submission. However, during the match, Flair had tried earlier to put the figure four on Sting. Sting eventually was able to reverse it, and Flair almost caught himself tapping out until the hold was broken. But Sting was able to get Flair to tap on this one. I think it was smart on Flair's part because this is just a regular match.
Right, yeah.
On the line. Save yourself for the main event because you're going for the world championship. So Sting does get the win by submission. Now, following that, the video package on how the title, what led up to the title being up in the 60-man battle royal, and of course, Mean Gene Okerlund interviewing Hulk Hogan prior to it. Now, for this match, they did 3 commentary teams. Table number 1 was Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Table number 2 was Eric Bischoff and Dusty Rhodes. So you got the plunder out there. And table 3, Chris Cruz and Larry Zbyszko.
The living legend, Larry Zbyszko.
Mark Madden wasn't available? Oh, thank God he wasn't.
How about Hogan's promo, though, where Hogan was saying that if it didn't matter if he ran into Sting or Macho Man, that he was going to throw him out. You know, he was going for the title.
Best friends, huh?
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, he's finally thinking straight.
Yeah,
he's not worrying about friendship. Well, he never really did.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm saying it to start the night off. He was kissing their asses, and now he's talking about kicking their asses.
But now it's time to go to work.
Yeah,
because up next now for the WCW Championship, a 60-man 3-ring battle royal.
Jesus Christ, twice the size of the Royal Rumble.
Yep, and the following competitors in this match.
All right,
Scott, you ready for this? A lot of jobbers in this one. Scott Armstrong. Steve Armstrong, Arn Anderson, Johnny B. Bad, Marcus Bagwell, Chris Benoit, Big Train Bart. How'd they get him from? Bunkhouse Buck, Cobra, you're still there. Disco Inferno, oh boy. Jim Duggan, Bobby Eaton, Nature Boy Ric Flair, The Giant, Eddie Guerrero, Hulk Hogan, Mr. JL, Chris Kanyon, Brian Knobbs, Kurosawa, Lex Luger, Joey Maggs, Ming, Hugh Morris, Max Muscle. I thought he was gone at this point, to be honest. Scott Norton, the One Man Gang, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, who, by the way, did get his hands on Hogan during. I
saw that.
I loved it. I loved it. I was hoping for it. Yeah. Diamond Dallas Page. Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker, Brian Pillman, Sergeant Craig Pittman, Lord Steven Regal, Scotty Riggs, Road Warrior Hawk, Big Bubba Rogers, Jerry Saggs, Ricky Santana, Kitsuki Sasaki, Shark, Fidel Sierra, Dick Slater, Mark Starr, as my pick, Stevie Ray, Sting, Dave Sullivan, the Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan, Super Assassin 1 and 2.
The Super Assassins, for those that don't know, it's the powers of pain, basically. It's Warlord and
Barbarian. Why did they just come out as Warlord and the Barbarian?
I don't know.
And then you got Booker T, Squire Dave Taylor, Bobby Walker, VK Wall Street, Pez Watley, Mike Winner. No, your name's not helping you out tonight. Alex Wright, James Earl Wright, the Yeti, and the Zodiac.
Huh? Yeah. Who's a ninja now? The Yeti's a ninja now.
Yeah, and the first one out. Yeah. One of the first ones out.
And I remember watching this, and I was actually surprised to see One Man Gang back. I was like, One Man Gang? What the hell's he doing here? So we hadn't seen him in a while, I think. And this is his return to WCW, I think. Been gone for a while.
Mm-hmm. And it was funny because he actually lasted till the final 5. Final 2, actually.
Good for him.
Now, once the ring got down to 10 wrestlers, they had to move over to ring 1.
Right, that was what. Yeah.
One wrestler did get taken out on a stretcher, Scott Armstrong. There was another guy holding his arm down there for like 20 minutes. I think he was seriously hurt, but everybody just left him there. I think it was Joey Maggs. I wasn't sure. They didn't even mention his name. They just said, "Oh, somebody's hurt down there. Yeah, you might want to look into it." He's been there for a while. You had the camera on him 4 different times.
You know what was messed up about this is that when it was the three rings, it was too chaotic with like the three screens.
Yeah,
They
and
showed the three
constantly
box.
going back and forth to the
Yeah, it
commentators.
was just too much. It's too
It's
much.
too much, but I mean, it was a lot of action, but you couldn't keep up with it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, just in production.
because if somebody got eliminated, they didn't always tell you.
Right, right. It gets better later on. Once people start getting eliminated, it gets better. But initially, I remember I was watching this and I'm like, this isn't good production.
Yeah, because eventually it gets down to the final 30 that are all in the ring one. I'm surprised that ring didn't break. They had
Yeah.
to reinforce that sucker. A lot of guys fighting on the outside as well, especially Savage and Luger. They just went into business for themselves. They're in rings that don't even have anybody in it anymore. You know, they're taking each other out. It came down to the final six. It was Hogan, Savage, One Man Gang, Sting, Luger, and Giant. Gee, who doesn't fit in this equation? One Man Gang. And now Hogan was helping Savage against the One Man Gang, but he decided to go over and help Sting and Luger, or Sting battle Luger and the Giant.
Well, did he? Or did he
No,
decide?
he just throws them all three out.
Exactly. What a piece of trash Hogan was.
Yep. Takes all three of them out. Now, this is another thing that doesn't make any sense. Just because you got down to one ring doesn't mean you only go to one referee. Because this needed multiple referees.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm going to say this. Because while Randy Anderson was distracted with Savage almost eliminating the One Man Gang, the Giant grabs Hogan under the rope.
All right, pull them under.
And they're going at it. Savage eliminates the One Man Gang. The referee turns around, sees Hogan on the outside, and goes for the belt.
You know what doesn't make any sense about that? You've got to see the guy get eliminated. You can't assume that because he's on the outside that he was eliminated. You have to see, because guys have been eliminated before, and the referee didn't see them, and they just sneak back in. And it's not like they're still in the battle royal.
Hey, later on, a guy gets eliminated, comes back in, winds up winning the Rumble. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, it always happens.
It doesn't make that.
This is why you need. There should still be multiple. Yeah, exactly. Now Hogan's irate. I mean, he's totally into 1992 mode at this point.
Yeah.
But this to me is justified.
No, it is justified, but still, it's just Hogan has a track.
He's pissing on Savage's parade here.
Yeah, he's got a track record of this type of behavior. They were booing him too. They were booing him when he started saying, "Oh, what does the crowd think? Did I get it?" They were booing
crowd was like, "Screw you, Savage is champion."
Macho Man's champion.
Something new for once.
Yeah, and then he's talking shit to Macho Man too. Eventually, he comes around, but
yeah, Savage won this. Like I said, despite Hogan's protesting it, which is not going to do anything. They're talking about showing the videotape the following night on Nitro. Like that's going to change anything. Savage ain't giving up the title.
Well, then Hogan did mention a title shot, though, right? He did mention.
Oh no, of course, this is Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
The minute I lose it, brother, 5 seconds later, I'm the number one contender.
He should have it went on too long with him complaining. He should have congratulated him and then said, "But listen, I want a title shot because you should do what's right."
That should have just came next night on Nitro.
Right.
Just accept the fact that this happened.
Yeah.
Shake the man's hand.
Right.
Give him a hug.
And then the next night. Yeah.
And when he's not looking, clothesline him. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm not Bobby.
No.
And you wallop him with a belt. And Savage didn't care because you notice while they're doing this, Savage is putting the belt on. He's like, "This puppy's mine, baby."
Cool. But I actually thought this was pretty good booking though, because I didn't see Macho Man winning. That kind of for me, it came out of nowhere. I didn't think he was going to win.
Yeah, I had a feeling when he got to WCW, eventually he would get the title. I just didn't think it was going to be within the first year that he was there.
Yeah, good for him.
Like I really thought this was going to go Hogan or Giant's way.
Yeah.
Because that's what the buildup was. But
this was good.
My thinking back then was that, of course, my knowledge of watching wrestling over the years tells you when they start focusing on two guys, start looking somewhere else because there's going to be a curveball here.
Yeah. But unfortunately,
for Savage, good.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, it doesn't last very long. But
nope, the Nature Boy Ric Flair's going to have something to say to that. It's going to go back and forth, but I mean, ultimately, it's going to be Flair.
Yeah.
But
And then
on this night, congratulations.
then it makes its way back to Hogan, of course.
Oh, of course. Once
Yeah.
we get our favorite faction showing up next summer, I can't wait.
This was a good pay-per-view. It was good. It was different. This was one of the better, I think, WCW pay-per-views.
Something new as far as a new champion being crowned, other than Hogan and Flair, because Hogan has dominated the last year and a half. So to go in a new direction with Hogan not leaving to go make a movie is even better.
All right, well, that's our review. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. See you guys soon.
Take care.